Hey, Ellie, welcome to my startup podcast. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I spoke with one of your employees actually at one of my New York events, and it was good to get to know him. And thankfully, he introduced me to you, and now we're meeting over Zoom. You're the founder of a startup, and I'm looking forward to getting into that. But before that, do you mind just telling me some things about your background, like where you grew up and where you're currently starting your startup out of, and just yeah, some more details about your background.
Yeah, sure. So originally I'm from London, from England, that's the accent. And nowadays I live in Tel Aviv, Israel. So around half my life I've been living in Israel. And yeah, I run a company called Inbox Zero. A bit about my own background. I've run a few different businesses in the past, raised money for a few different companies. I have a computer science degree. I worked as a freelancer for a few years, and yeah, mostly what I've been doing the last 10 years or so has been running my own businesses.
That's great. And has it always been have they so you mentioned you have a computer science degree. Has it always been like kind of tech oriented companies, or have you tried out different forms?
Yeah, it's always been some form of tech company. I ran an agency for a few years as well. We would hire out freelance developers to different companies in the US and Israel. So if someone needed a full stack developer, yeah, they would reach out to us and we'd provide them with the services. So that's a tech business, but the like sort of my job in the business was actually the business itself isn't so techy. It's just sort of finding the right talent and connecting them with the right companies.
I see, gotcha. So I often wonder if that's it, if being at that space of like supplying talent or supplying dev work to people with problems kind of inspires startup ideas because you see what works firsthand for other people. Did you notice, is that how you came up with your startup ideas, or was it a different way?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if any of our clients directly inspired Inbox Zero or what we're doing today. Like my own business challenges definitely had some impact in terms of starting Inbox Zero. I was running another business and I was always spending quite a lot of time on email, and I just wished I had, an assistant that could manage it for me. And this was around the time that AI was starting to pick up and become quite strong. And so, yeah, I was like, well, why can't an AI manage my email for me? No one was really doing it at the time. And that's sort of how Inbox Zero got started. But I wouldn't say, like, in terms of the businesses we worked with as an agency, I wouldn't say any of them. Yeah, we were more doing the tech for them. And a lot of the time it was the freelancer we would hire out that was really the one deep in the business. And we were more supplying the talent. And so we weren't like deeply involved with a lot of the clients we worked with, other than sort of providing them with the right developer.
Gotcha. So it was more of a first-hand problem that you decided why not solve this, try to automate it with AI. Did you envision focusing on like people in a similar circumstance as you? So people also in the tech space managing specifically like that market segment's email, or is there a different market segment that you guys are targeting, or maybe it's just more of a general whoever might need this, you're willing to onboard onto your platform?
Yeah, so the audience is definitely very broad. 4 billion people use email. It basically
Right.
everyone is a potential customer. Anyone that works has an email address, and so the market is very broad in that sense. But obviously, certain segments are more interesting to us as customers. I would say sort of the primary audience has definitely been people running their own businesses, sort of similar to me, honestly. They might be running a small business or like in a marketing agency or whatever it is. They get a lot of email in every day. They need to stay on top of it. A lot of it might be noise. They want to know what the few emails that I actually like need to reply to today. And the other 50 that might not be as important, and just put them to the side. So yeah, that I would say is a primary audience, but it's very broad, honestly. We have people in commercial real estate. We have people in we have influencer agencies. Some of the biggest influencer agencies in the world use our product. It varies quite a lot, honestly, like the type of person using the product.
Gotcha. And are there certain signals that you look for to see? Okay, this person will definitely be a good client. They'll get a lot of good value out of our product. Or does it tend to be you really don't know until they try it out and they say, okay, this is like very helpful for me.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, yeah, it's very person dependent. Like it
Yeah.
depends on your own email habits. It depends what sort of thing is coming in to email. It depends like how much you care about sort of being on top of it. I guess you get three types of people when it comes to email. People that are always at inbox zero, and you look at their inbox in the morning and or the evening, and there's just nothing in there. And so if they've already got very good email habits and are that person, then like an AI email app isn't necessarily helping them anymore. And so they're not always the best clients. But then the other extreme, you have someone with 100,000 emails in their inbox and they just gave up 5 years ago,
Yeah.
and never expect to ever get to inbox zero ever again. They would be potentially good customers. Like some of our customers are definitely like that. But I'd say sort of the sweet spot is really those people in the middle where they're not at inbox zero, they're not at inbox a million, then they are trying to stay on top of their inbox. So that group of people, which I would honestly say is most email users today, at least in a business context, most people haven't completely given up on their inbox because they know it's important for work and some important stuff does go through there. I
Okay.
agree that Google segment is like sort of the best case, but it really depends on sort of the position and the types of emails they're sending and how much noise they get.
Yeah, so basically, if they're not so on top of their email that they have nothing to gain from the AI, but they're not so carefree about it that it's just hopeless to even start organizing, or they just don't care enough to get an AI. That makes
Right.
sense.
But yeah, but it's obviously is very broad. Like it's so
Yeah,
you no one I'm speaking to you're a potential customer. Like you use email. I'm guessing
sure.
it's like you're someone that could use the product. But then like whether you actually would, it like yeah, it depends on lots of factors and how important email is to your day to day and how much time you're wasting on email every day.
And what kind of AI technology do you guys use? Is it one of the mainstream LLMs, or is there any machine learning or anything like that, or is it more just like the newer wave of LLMs that we're seeing?
Yeah, so it's largely based on the new wave of LLMs that we're seeing. The models from companies like Anthropic and OpenAI, they're sort of the best models out there right now. But they're like when it comes to email, you don't necessarily need the absolute best model, and sort of it depends what part of the email flow you're handling in terms of sort of what model we'll use. But yeah, we'll be using sort of existing models and we'll be switching around. The market is changing so quickly. So, we might be using Google Gemini today and 3 months from now, or we be using Claude Sonnet or like some other model. It depends on sort of speed, price, and performance of each model. And that changes the whole time as the market evolves.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's definitely a persistent theme. These leading AI startups, they keep leapfrogging each other. One takes the lead, and then the other comes out the day after with some new feature to try to steal the lead. So it's always trying to stay at that cutting edge. Each of
Yeah.
these AI companies. What are the main functionalities that the AI is assisting with? Like, what are the actual things that it's doing in your inbox?
Yeah, so I'd say like sort of at the most basic level, the first thing we're doing is organizing the inbox. So you'll get in 100 emails today, 25 of them are newsletters, 30 of them are marketing emails, another handful are emails you need to reply to. So just segmenting those into the correct buckets, potentially even automatically archiving them. So the platform is highly customizable. You can really set it up however you want, unlike some of our competitors in the space, but we have like a good set of defaults basically where we'll organize your inbox in a way we think makes sense, but you can fully customize this to your own needs and workflow. And so, yeah, at the first stage, we're, organizing things and archiving what needs to be archived automatically if you want it. The next level is drafting those replies for you. So when you get into your inbox, you have 7 emails that need a reply. Those 7 emails have a reply drafted for you, and that's based on how you write, your email history. We'll take a good educated guess at sort of how you need to respond to this email. And also that very much depends on like how predictable your emails are. Certain inboxes, they get the same questions over and over again. If you have a support email or an influencer email, you're going to get the same questions 100 times a day. And their AI is very, very good at knowing, okay, this is exactly how we answer this type of email. Other types of emails can be harder to predict, but it still can be helpful to have a draft ready for you to go that you just need to adjust a little. And then beyond that, yeah, we offer a whole bunch of features around cleaning up the inbox. This is a huge need for a lot of people signing up to the platform. We'll help them archive thousands or tens of thousands of emails very quickly, from the minute they sign up. Unsubscribe from newsletters, things like that. Show you like, hey, here are the newsletters you're getting every single day, but you're reading 3% of them. you should probably go and unsubscribe from them and like archive all the emails from them. And so steps like that will start to get your inbox in order very quickly. And, you might be getting 200 emails a day right now, but, next week you'll only be getting 100 a day, and it starts to become a bit more manageable, basically. And then, yeah, we have other features. There's a whole bunch of features in the platform, but like automatically following up on emails. So if you sent an email a week ago for the podcast, you wanted to get someone on, but they didn't reply back, it will automatically label this email as needing a follow-up. So you'll very easily be able to see, hey, here are the 7 emails I sent, they need a follow-up, and click send, send, send on each one. Or these are the emails that I forgot to reply to. Will allow you to integrate your calendar. So if someone asks, hey, can you meet next week? So we'll automatically be able to connect to the calendar and say, hey, yeah, I can meet at that time, or would some other time work? And so those are some of the sort of the core features. There's a bunch of other stuff, but I think that sort of gives a like decent overview of the platform.
Yeah, and no, it sounds like you guys have a whole host of useful functionalities that I can tell already that I myself would benefit from. So I might be a good user tester for you guys to
Sure.
feedback in and just to use the product to benefit myself. So but yeah, one of the things that you mentioned was it knowing based on your past emails how you might respond to an email, and that's a very important part for I mean, we'd all like to leverage AI to make it easier to write our emails, but we want to be represented in a way that we feel is part of our identity, not someone else's words, right? Like we want to sound like ourselves. We don't want to sound like a robot or something.
Yeah.
And so how do you guys manage that? Is it just putting the past emails that I've sent into a prompt, or are you fine tuning the AI?
Yeah, so it's interesting. So actually, for people that are really curious, our product is actually open source, so anyone can read like so literally anything we're doing, including the prompts and the sort of the flows we're using. When it comes to grabbing your voice, like sort of the easiest way to grab your voice, if you're writing on Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever it is, you could literally grab 100 posts, paste that into an AI,
Yeah.
and the AI would start to pick up on things like, oh, this is like you write very short paragraphs or 5 sentence sentences. And so yeah, at a basic level, when it comes to email, the second you connect your inbox, we have access to all your previously sent emails, and from that we can already get a very good idea immediately of how you write, basically. We can also pass the AI examples like, hey, this is a previous an email that was written by this person. When you write future emails, go do something similar. So there are a few characteristics we try and pull out from the email sender, but overall I would say, yeah, our users say, like, in terms of tone of voice, it very much sounds like them when these drafts are coming through.
Okay, that's great. And is it ever the case that the AI automatically will respond, or like are there certain cases where you can mark it off? Okay, I'm very confident in it responding to these kinds of emails, and it will automatically do it, or does it like check with you first, and then you say, okay, send this.
Yeah, so in general, it will put a draft into your inbox. So if you're using,
Yeah.
we support Gmail or Outlook, and it will give you a draft there ready to go. If needed, it can automatically send for you. There are some security risks to be aware of, and we try
Sure.
and surface it on the platform. But for example, yeah, if the AI has access to too much information and then sends an email, yeah, you could potentially be exposed. But for certain inboxes, and like we have like templates that you can automatically send, and so in those cases, the AI can automatically send a response, but it can only send the template. So there's all sorts of workarounds in terms of like allowing certain types of emails to be able to be sent automatically without being a security risk for you and exposing something from your inbox which shouldn't be exposed. And this is actually a big problem with, if people are familiar with products such as OpenClaw that just came out, like those like have just infinite access, and there's like very big security risks. And every other day there's a new story of someone that deleted their database with OpenClaw, or sent the wrong email, whatever it was. Inbox Zero is definitely, like, I would say, much more security focused, and it doesn't give the AI infinite access to everything to make those sort of mistakes or for there to be a security breach.
Yeah, yes, that is a good question. So, I mean, for the user that is worried that, say, in one of their emails from their bank, it includes some sensitive information. How does your AI know not to draw from that email? Does it only draw from the email that it's responding to, or how does that work?
Yeah, so in terms of when the main setup for Inbox Zero users is to only draft an email reply. And so you're
Yeah,
always
yeah.
clicking OK before that's sent. It's never sending it, or
Right.
it doesn't, the AI doesn't have the ability to send that email on its own,
Yeah.
basically. And so that's sort of the first safety measure that makes sure that like sort of nothing bad is happening. If you're sort of an advanced power user of Inbox Zero, you can set it up to automatically send. But when you have that setting on, the AI is limited in terms of what access it has. It can't just go and search your inbox for something random and include it in the response. It's split off. So very few of our users are doing the auto send functionality, but if you are using it, even there, we make sure it's not like the drafter agent and the like auto sender agent have access to different things. Basically, the auto sender agent can't just search your inbox and read your bank details and forward them to someone.
Got it. Got it. That makes sense. And so, operating in this space, in this AI for email space, is there anyone that you partner with? Is it mostly just tapping into like Gmail's API or something, or different email services APIs, or who are you working with, if anyone?
Yeah, I mean, well, in terms of users, we have 20,000 signups. And we also have like a vibrant open source community. Lots of people self-hosting the product themselves. In terms of partners, I mean, we support both Google and Outlook or Microsoft for email. So yeah, if you use Gmail or Outlook, we support you basically. In terms of like sort of yeah partners, what we work. I mean, I guess we have an affiliate program. So if anyone's listening and who wants to like recommend Inbox Zero to someone else. So yeah, the affiliate program is sort of the best place for that. If you go to getinboxzero.com/affiliates. But yeah, well, I mean, we work with some sort of different smaller partners that sort of like sell the product to their own customers, or recommend it to their customers, basically.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a good point. It's always good to partner with affiliates. Speaking of which, I'm sure there'd be plenty of people at my events that would be happy to try it out. So maybe we'll discuss that later.
Yeah, sure.
And
Happy to give you
yeah,
an affiliate link.
absolutely. And did you have a mentor that got you into this space at all, or was it more just from your own experience? I know you have a lot of experience on your belt, so maybe it was just from your own experience you decided what direction to go or how to handle things. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't any specific mentor that put me in this direction. I was just, like, I mean, I guess I like to optimize processes for myself, and just email seemed like a good one. I would love to sort of just put on autopilot. And I guess, yeah, I started in Moxia around 2.5 years ago, honestly. And I just got obsessed with like sort of the problem and trying to solve it. And, the AIs weren't quite good enough at the time, which also sort of has impacted like the product direction quite a lot, like trying to work around like the AI limitations, especially for those early models of AI. But yeah, like overall, it was more just like fixing like an initial like pain point that I had for myself. But I also knew that like, everyone deals with email, everyone has these same problems. And so, yeah, going in, it was like, that there are definitely enough people that like would pay for an email solution to have like sort of a better inbox, basically. Like
Yeah.
you'd pay like thousands of dollars for an executive assistant, like thousands per month, easily hundreds per month. So, $20 to $50 per month for an AI that handles it seems like a great deal for a lot of people.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I'm sure that putting it that way definitely helps sell that to a user. Seeing like exactly where it's saving you time and money is always a good selling point. And what's your ultimate vision for the company? Do you see this as just deepening the presence of AI in email, or do you see it expanding out into like other forms of communication, messaging, maybe even phone calls, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are a few different directions. Right now, our focus has been on like email, calendar, and docs. Another thing we do actually, which is quite interesting, a new feature, is attachments that you get in your inbox will automatically organize them in your like Google Drive or your OneDrive.
Yeah.
And so, for example, let's say you get receipts and need them all in a receipts folder, or you're an accountant and be like you just get receipts for 100 different customers, or you real estate, you get like lots of different properties, so they can all be automatically organized into their own spot. And so, like slowly, like sort of over time, we've been like expanding to sort of more and more assistant functionality. Another one we do is like these meeting briefs, which like you'll get an email before a call. For example, before our call today, 4 hours beforehand, I got an email where an AI went and researched you on the internet, told me, okay, you've got a call with Brendan in a few hours. This is what you should know about Brendan, and like sort of your previous email history of him, so you're prepared for the call.
Yeah.
And so that's like sort of, that was again like sort of more assistant functionality. And so yeah, over time we're definitely adding more integrations. We recently added like a Slack and Telegram integration, so you can manage your email via those as well, so you don't even have to be in the Inbox Zero product. Like, so if you want to organize things or change things within the product. So yeah, like that's the direction things are going right now, just becoming like sort of more and more of that sort of day-to-day assistant that can manage and help more and more parts of your business.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned integrations. Maybe one thing that I personally would find useful is if it integrated with meetings. So it took the meeting notes. There's many meeting notes AIs out there, but if it took those notes and then also, my email AI was aware of that and could reference that, then that might be very helpful. Maybe that's already on your guys' list.
Yeah, so it's funny, we developed something like that. We didn't release it live. We've been debating if we should or not, but there's so many of these AI like note taker type
Right.
apps. But I agree. Like the reason something like that is helpful is there's a lot of context in those calls. So, for
Right.
example, yeah, you have a call with someone, they need to follow up with them email on it, like email afterwards. And so, yeah, those like integrations, yeah, definitely helpful. Like we've got this feature in early access right now where Inbox Zero will attach to your HubSpot or your Stripe or your Monday.com, whatever it is, and it will connect to these different tools and be able to grab context from those tools. So if your meeting notes from a call have gone into HubSpot, the AI can automatically grab information from that and then go and but use that for follow-up drafting as well, because that really helps in terms of like the more information the AI has about your overall business or your previous conversations with this customer, it becomes much easier to then go and draft the responses to this person.
Yeah, so as the AI is accessing these different tools, so it's say down the road it's able to access so many things, the meetings or to I don't organize the documents in the Google Drive, all these things. Do you think is there any issue when the tool using scales, like to be able to keep track and properly use those tools from a technical perspective, or is the AI usually able to manage many tools without making any mistakes?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think well, it depends because, like, yeah, I would say it could probably, at least like sort of what we're doing, it can manage these tools fairly well. So, for example, your HubSpot, it might have 50,000 contacts in it, but at the end of the day, if you're drafting a reply to to Ellie or Brendan, then the AI just has to search for Ellie or Brendan within the HubSpot. It's one specific email they're finding. And so there might be 50,000 rows of data, but it only needs sort of information about one person. And the same with, let's say, our Stripe integration. There's just one
Yeah.
customer email that it's searching for in Stripe. It's not having to go through, thousands of pages of data. But yeah, I think like definitely like on a per user basis, these integrations are fairly small, meaning any specific user might add like maybe like if they added 5 integrations, that would be a lot already. And so
Yeah.
yeah, the AI would have to manage these different tools, and it would have to be done in a smart way so that you're not like overloading the context for the AI. But
Right.
yeah, overall, like on an individual user basis, it should be fairly manageable.
Got it.
At
And
least like for us, like where it's very
yeah,
focused on just manage like drafting replies for email or managing your inbox, at least like sort of where the focus is today.
got it. So when it is focusing its context on a single person, so sometimes when you're emailing someone, a new thread kind of develops. Like you were talking to them on one thread, and then someone starts a new thread. Is it gathering all those threads together and using the context of all of them, or is it focusing on one thread at a time?
Yeah, so it is grabbing context from different threads.
Okay, that's great because yeah, sometimes things do get broken up in that way, and so
Yeah, for sure.
it could even be tough as a human doing it to find out which thread did I reference that in, and did I
Yeah.
actually send that because it's in a different thread, and it can be tough to track down. So that's helpful to know that it handles that, and of course there are many AI tools coming out, but it seems like you guys are having some good user traction. What do you guys do to stay at the forefront and really stay at the cutting edge of things to have the edge over competitors in this space.
Yeah, so it's definitely a very, very busy space right now. Loads of AI assistants coming out, but it's definitely sort of a major trend. Yeah, I mean, on our end, we're just focused on like continuing to improve the product, service our existing customers. Yeah, we get sort of good organic traffic every day, like good number of, even if we don't do any sort of marketing, just like natural inbound is quite strong.
That's
We're
great.
continuing to continue to improve the product, like listen to customers. Yeah, I mean, see like sort of the market changes very quickly in terms of the features that Gmail offers natively or Outlook. Like things change quite quickly. So like yeah, just navigating all those changes and offering the best experience for our own users.
Yeah. And what is your main feedback loop for your product? Is it are people like sending emails to your support line, or is it do you have like a community that you've built to get feedback?
Yeah, so we get feedback in a few different ways. Certain customers, we speak to them on Slack. They have like a private channel with us, and they'll say, they'll ask us questions, or we like, oh, it's great, like if your product could do this. And so that's like obviously super helpful feedback. We have a Discord community that's more, I would say, for open source. Like people that are self-hosting often end up in the Discord community, and so they chat with us, and sometimes they are also adding features themselves. Yeah, it's really cool that like people can now sort of spin up Claude code and say like, hey, I'd love to have this feature in inbox zero, go and add it. And so we get pull requests like that from our users, and more we're like merging those in. So that's quite nice. But yeah, like just, speaking to people, customer calls, Slack, Discord, with chat, email support, crisp support on the website. Those are all like avenues where we get feedback from people.
Gotcha. And that's very interesting that it's really open source like that. So how'd you make that decision? And did I mean, do you ever worry about? I guess you're reviewing the pull requests, and so you're checking the code. But do you ever worry there could be any issues with it that you're pulling in, or any maybe cybersecurity things that you would worry about?
Yeah, so there are definitely challenges there. Like in some sense, you like being open source can be more secure, right? It depends, but
Yeah.
it can be more secure because like everyone has their eyes on it. So if any sort of
Uh,
issue that pops up, yeah, anyone can scan your code base and do like quite a thorough review on it. Like if you want right now, you could like tell like Claude Code or Codex to go and review like the entire Inbox Zero GitHub repo and try and find vulnerabilities. And we even do this ourselves on sort of a daily basis. We have an AI bot which is just sort of like checking all the recent changes and checking if there is any sort of vulnerability. And where we actually have a whole bunch of measures around that. In terms of accepting people's pull requests, we're pretty careful not to accept something which can cause damage or like put in
yeah.
a vulnerability itself. But yeah, like overall, the reason I started like, yeah, right now I would say open source is a huge trend, like everyone's doing it. I think it's happening more and more because like code is becoming more of a commodity. Like any idea you have, you can just say like, hey, Claude Code, go build this for me. And you'll have like
Yeah.
an 80% working type version like pretty quickly. And so like the fact that someone can read your code isn't, it doesn't matter that much a lot of the time. Like even if you send me a product, I could tell an AI, hey, figure out like what this product does. Here's a few screenshots. Go build it yourself. But yeah, I run an open source YouTube channel, or it was called Learn from Open Source in the past. Now I sort of discuss open source and AI. And so, yeah, it made sense. Like as I was talking about a lot of other open source products, I was like, my product should probably be open source as well. So that was another major driver for making it open source. But also like that you can self-host it, the added security and privacy. We have enterprise clients that, they're running it themselves on premise, and this means that their email can't be leaked to the outside world. Like even if we want to read their emails, we can't. So they get the like sort of maximum security basically that way.
Yeah, no, that's great. And so yeah, I was wondering, how do you get the word out there to let people know that it's open source and to get them to start contributing? But it sounds like was the main means by your YouTube channel, just putting those YouTube videos out, and that's what drew people into the community to start contributing.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder like where people find out about Inbox Zero today. I
Yeah,
mean, GitHub is a great marketing channel right
right.
now. I mean, it has been for a while, honestly, and it is one of these marketing channels which isn't that noisy although probably in the last few months has become very, very noisy. But like, like Inbox Zero grew to 10,000 stars over the last 2 years or so. So that's quite a lot of people that have like, not everyone that sees it as star. There's, tens of thousands of developers that have come to the repo, seen it, actually decided to star it. So I would say there's sort of two marketing angles. There's one like sort of to the developers in the open source community, and then the other part is like to actual sort of users. I'd say those two don't necessarily overlap that much.
Okay.
But like our goal, I would say as a business is more about sort of the regular people that come to our website. They don't really care if we're open source or not. They just want to solve the problem of their inbox. If you are a developer and you're self-hosting it, that's great. Contributions are obviously great as well. But it's sort of less our focus. Like more like right now, if someone tells me like, hey, I'd love to have this in the product, we can just go to Claude Code or Codex and type it in like, hey, this is what someone wanted. Can we get that live? So the pull requests aren't as important, but yeah, it's always sort of like a nice benefit. And it's just one more marketing angle because a company might see it on GitHub, but then become a regular paying customer, even though, they found us on GitHub.
Got it. Yeah, yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. You might get some enterprise client, some developer that was using it, and then they decide, oh, let's take this on for our company. And so, what was the name of that channel that you said was getting pretty busy? I missed the name of that. Maybe to get open source developers. You said it was starting to get busier.
I mean, just in general, open source has become quite a trend.
Oh, in general.
So
Okay.
GitHub.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, GitHub is sort of the place a lot of people are finding projects right now, and there's tons of non-technical people as well, like going on GitHub and seeing what's around there. So we've been number one TypeScript project in the world on certain days, which has been really cool.
That's awesome.
So a bit of people, it was really cool. I never thought that would happen, but we went viral once or twice, and that happened.
Yeah, that's great. And I guess that's just organic. Like someone uses it, they see this is good, it works well, and then they share it with someone else.
Yeah, in terms of one of the times we went viral on GitHub is I've been a heavy user of Cursor for a long time. I'm also a Cursor ambassador. I've been using it probably 2 years or so, and so my Cursor rules went somewhat viral around half a year or a year, probably even a year ago now, coming up to a year. And so the rules, I was like, hey, here are my 20 Cursor rules. And they're all open source and you can find them in the repo. So a lot of people came to the repo to to see the rules, and they gave it a star at that point. So that's sort of how it got discovered. Like if you look at the star chart for Inbox Zero, you sort of see it's steadily going up, and then suddenly it spikes up and then continues going up steadily. And that big spike is around the Cursor rules, where everyone wanted to sort of read the Cursor rules we had in the Inbox Zero repo.
Oh, I see. So kind of having that value dense publication of Cursor rules is sort of what kind of seeded the viral growth, you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was for us getting number one on GitHub trending. It was definitely because of the Cursor rules that we had.
Okay, yeah.
Repo. And also, once you're trending, then it's sort of like a flywheel that, lots of people, once you're like top 3 or top 10 of GitHub trending, more people see it and star it. So people just star it because it's already trending. And then they're interested in they might not even realize it has some Cursor rules in it. Like there were a whole bunch of people from Twitter that came for the Cursor rules, but then once it starts trending, it just grows on its own.
Right. People just see that it's trending, and then for that reason, by itself, they want to check it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about on the consumer side, the non-developer side? What's the most productive channel for bringing on customers for you? Is it just like having the website out there to have people sign up, or is it are you running ads at all? Or
yeah, we're not running ads right now. We might start running, we ran a tiny bit in the past. We'll probably start experimenting with that again. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different places. Like GitHub, as we mentioned, is one of them. My YouTube channel, I have a small Twitter following. So people come from there. I'm in different online communities. People come in from Google, from ChatGPT recommending it, friend recommendations. So in terms of where users come from, it's a whole inbound is a whole bunch of different places, basically.
So you wouldn't recommend focusing on one approach, but just try out many different things, and then together they'll on aggregate bring in a lot of new users.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what I'd recommend, I'm not sure. It depends on the business. At least for us, that's what's happening.
Right.
dispersed in terms of there's a few different avenues which are all bringing in users
Yeah,
right now.
got it. And yeah, just to segue to a different topic here. So, what's it been like starting a startup in Tel Aviv? Have you tried starting in different cities? Do you have anything to compare it to, or is this the only place that you've started a company?
Yeah, it's the only place I've started a company. I would say like I happen to be based in Tel Aviv, but there's nothing like really like, I could really be anywhere. And frankly, because of the
Yeah,
war
it's true.
the last 2 years, we have been
Yeah,
out the country a lot. We've been in New York a lot. Close to a year living in New York. Not quite a year, but coming up to a year in New York over the last like 2.5 years or so. And so in some sense, it's a half New York startup as well, but
okay, yeah,
it's online, so like people discover it online, and I would say we're definitely remote first. Like we're a small team,
yeah.
a few people. We have like one other person in Tel Aviv, a few people like sort of based all over. You met Nate, who's based in New York.
Gotcha. And your employees that are based in different areas, I mean, do they tend to orient their like if they're selling, do they tend to sell in those areas? Is it really just all virtual? Like it doesn't really matter that he's based in New York. He's selling to
Yeah, I mean, there's an
anybody.
advantage to being based in New York. You can go to events in New York. Also, if you're calling
Right.
people in the US, or like emailing, you're in the right time zone. Also, if he was based, in Austin or in
Yeah.
Seattle, it would have been mostly the same.
And when you're hiring in a international city, do you try to meet them in person, or do you feel it's sufficient to have met them and interview them over Zoom?
Yeah, so Zoom is, mostly what we're doing, or
Yeah,
Google Meet. Yeah, I haven't met,
Google Meet.
a bunch of employees I haven't met in person.
Got it. Yeah.
Most of them, I would say, I haven't met in person, yeah, and I may never meet.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I mean, it really is effective to just be able to see each other over a screen and be able to talk real time. And where do you see this industry in general? I guess maybe it's like, I mean, in a narrower sense, it could just be, email, but I guess it's also in a broader sense, just automating these day-to-day operational things. Where do you see this industry going? Is it growing rapidly? Is it what's like will it be taken up by a few big competitors, or where do you see things going?
Yeah, it's a good question. The biggest competitors for this sort of thing are like sort of the email platforms themselves, like Microsoft and
Right.
Google. In terms of where things will go, but like yeah, they will continue to release features that help manage your inboxes. I think there's a limit to what they can do, although they're adding more and more AI into things over time. So yeah, it would definitely be interesting to see what they do in terms of like sort of the broader like assistant market. That's also a good question, honestly. Like Anthropic, OpenAI, like OpenClaw has gone extremely viral recently. And so they're like the big players are all looking at that, all looking to do something to have better assistance themselves. But I think we'll continue to see sort of these like sub products or like focus products that like do one thing very well or help a certain industry. Yeah, if you ask me in like 5 years time or 3 years time what are things going to look like,
Yeah.
honestly, it could be very, very, very different.
Who knows, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like the whole, like I would say just across startups as a whole, or just like so many startups, like, in the past it might have taken someone a year or 2 years to build, and now it's just like, someone figured it out and you just like type it, prompt it, and it comes to existence. It's not necessarily
Exactly.
as easy, but we're getting to that point basically. But yeah, like we're seeing more and more business processes being automated. Also, ourselves internally, we're trying to automate as much as possible and leverage AI across the business as well as possible, basically.
Yeah, no, it's moving. It really is moving so quickly, and of course, the smarter AI gets, the faster it'll move because that'll participate in the feedback loop to improve things, the rate of research and everything. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really tough. It really is tough to predict. But are there any areas that you're seeing are kind of like dead zones for AI? Like it's tough for AI to figure it out to do it where you need human in the loop, or are you seeing just a full loop, AI all the way?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely like a human aspect where, distribution. I don't think AI, at least not today, can't like end-to-end distribution or sales. You can spam the world with like Twitter posts or like Reddit
Yeah.
comments or whatever, or blog posts on SEO or like cold email. But there's a limit to like how much you can really sell through those, and so I think a lot of it people are still buying from humans. That maybe it will change in like a year or two from now.
What part of the sales process is the main one? Because I mean, a lot of people right now they're worried about AI and it's taking up jobs, and so they're wondering what won't be automated. What part of the sales process are you seeing that's tougher for an AI assistant to automate?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a question with the situation today and the situation like 3 years from now. Today, I would still say, large part of business is not automated. You still have to get, you can build the product, which has been like maybe like half or automated, or not even half automated, but just large parts of products have been, become much easier than they were a few months ago. It's much
Yeah.
easier for almost anyone to build the product they want. But other parts of it, like how do you get your product out to a million people, or how do you get that enterprise client? You can use run certain automations to help you move a bit faster. You can pay for ads. You can, but at the end of the day, a lot of that is just like, how do you get people to find out about you, to know about you, and to actually make the sale? Like right now, like, yeah, that definitely takes a human touch. But yeah, basically, like, I'd be curious actually to see if there are any like end-to-end fully AI startups. I haven't seen any like that so far, and if they are, they're quite niche. There might be, I wouldn't be surprised if there's small startups, maybe doing like sub 7 figures a year. Like there's no, let's say, like really big company right now, which is just like fully AI being like running end to end.
Yeah, no, I guess it seems like there's always some receding, human aspect that yeah, I mean even if you think of, okay, we didn't automate this thing, now we try to automate it, there's always some remaining, whether it's strategy or just one way or another making things happen, and maybe eventually in like you said, in a few years maybe that'll change, and we'll have the right kind of arrangement of AIs working together to be able to sort of generalize to any given new problem that might show up. But yeah, I guess until that point, there's always going to be these edge case problems that cause there to have to be a human in the loop.
Yeah. I mean, if you just, I think, I don't know, any product you're using today, like, is it like, is it fully AI running that business? Like, it's not. It's like, I think if, and I think, even like, let's say an area where I think is being hit heavily is like development, like coders losing their jobs potentially. But even that, I don't think we're seeing necessarily huge, like developers losing their jobs. I think we're seeing a huge wave of, new startups being built and more code being written than ever before. I think right now what we're seeing is people doing a lot more, being a lot more productive, or the room to be a lot more productive than they were before. But we're not at that stage where like, we're at that stage where you could say 90% or more of code for some people, like sometimes 100% of code is being AI generated, but not at the point where like 100% of developers are being like replaced from the workforce. We might get to that, in
Right.
like a year or two, but right now it's still, the developers managing these AIs, or like a developer that was expected to do, output, this amount of work a year ago now is expected to do 50% more. I think that's like mostly what we're seeing right now. And it's not just developers, it's, across the board. Like, yeah, these things will change over time. So, yeah, I think some people are like, oh, the situation today, AI can't do everything. It's definitely true, it can't. But like over time, it's going to be able to do more and more. But yeah, we'll see. I guess for myself personally, I'm just focused on the here and now. I can't think too far ahead, like, 3 years from now, what will the market look like? Like things could look completely different, or they could look similar. Like I'm just going to be focused on like solving the problems we have, trying to be as efficient as possible, trying to leverage AI in the best way possible. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. And so I interviewed a previous guest that he actually also was based out of Israel, and his business was basically AI based decision making for leaders of companies, governments, and drawing in large amounts of data in order to help make decisions. Do you ever use AI to make decisions at your company? Is that something that you guys do, or is that something that you would look to do in the future?
So we definitely use AI when we're thinking through problems.
Yeah,
And like even if you're asking me a question, where will the market be in a few years' time, or where's the edge for the company, or where should it
yeah.
go? A lot of decisions we're definitely utilizing AI, or we definitely run AI is just one point of input to help us think through a problem, and that's what we're going to go and do. We're still using it sort of just like as an external consultant that's just giving ideas rather than like it has no real decision on the business.
All right. Well, yeah. Stay safe, Ellie. Thank you so much for joining. And if you're ever in New York, feel free to message me.